Let's get started. Okay, hey guys, welcome. The first thing I want to say, if you clicked on this podcast episode, is everyone at some time feels incredibly overwhelmed by their life. And if you're feeling that way right now, I want to say right off the bat, don't minimize how you're feeling. Don't tell yourself, well, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I don't even have a real job. How could I possibly be feeling overwhelmed? Or I only have 2 kids. My friend has 5 kids. How can I be overwhelmed? And so start off this conversation with yourself by taking the shame out of the equation. That maybe it's okay to be overwhelmed. Maybe you can accept that life sometimes for everyone is overwhelming, right? Can you get there with me? It's hard. It's very easy in our world today to look out across social media and just see how easy everything is for everyone in every category, right? Like it's easy for that woman on Instagram to be a size 2 after having 7 children. Not in my world, but in someone's world, that's easy to do. It looks easy to have a great marriage and the projections that you see out in the world today. It looks easy to be successful. It looks easy. It's not easy. Okay. All of those people that you're idolizing or that you're looking to or wanting to feel inspired or motivated by, they all at some point feel overwhelmed. So I'm going to start off today by giving you permission to be overwhelmed in your life today, no matter what it looks like. So the way I think of it, there are 2 reasons you feel overwhelmed. Okay. One of them is you have too much on your calendar, which is very fixable. I'll get to that. The other reason you feel overwhelmed is you're simply doing things that suck the life out of you. So number 1, you're doing too much. Number 2, you're doing the wrong things. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, yeah, there are a lot of things that I have to do that suck the life out of me, but I don't have a choice, Janie. How are you going to help me with that? I'll get to all of that in this episode. And the first reason that I mentioned of having too much on your calendar, guys, I have a whole other podcast episode all about this. We are in a culture. It's a disease. It's a disease that is gripping our culture today, especially our mom culture, right? Of just scheduling too much. We are way too full in our day. We are way too full in our lives. There's too much happening. There's no slowness. Our brains are scattered. Anyway, if you are feeling like you just have too much on the calendar to start, I want you to go to episode 5 of this podcast. It's actually called You're Overwhelmed Because You Have No Plan, The Art of Controlling Your Calendar. So if you simply just have too much going on, this 5-minute fix for overwhelm isn't really speaking to if your calendar's too full. Go to episode 5 of this podcast for more information on how to solve that big problem. But if you're doing things that just suck the life out of you, this episode is for you. So I'm going to give you a 5-minute exercise that you can do right now that I have done myself that can help you allow this feeling of overwhelm that permeates your entire life to dissipate. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you have so much more control over this reason for overwhelm than you might think. So what I want you to do is I want you to make a life energy list. Okay? Like, are you laughing yet? What is she talking about? This sounds so weird, right? A life energy list is very simple. On one side of the list, you write the things in your life that bring you energy. And on the other side, you write the things in your life that suck the energy out of you. It sounds complicated, but it's not. So get out a piece of paper right now, if you can, if you're not driving, and start writing your life energy list. What I did to do mine when I was recently feeling really overwhelmed, I simply went through my calendar. My calendar tells me everything I'm doing every single day. And if you don't have that in your life, first of all, that's horrible. And you need to have a calendar. I'm telling you, it is a game changer. Not one calendar in the kitchen and your husband has a calendar, like one central family calendar is such a game changer. I've worked with so many of my clients on this. It sounds so silly, but it really does help your brain feel so much less scattered. Again, I think I speak more about that in episode 5 of this podcast. But go through your calendar and look at what you're doing. Look at who you're spending time with. Look at your commitments. Look at the things you're doing every week and just go with your gut in writing this life energy list. One side of it is things that bring you energy. The other side is things that suck your energy, right? So I always like to say, do you guys feel this way? There are 2 types of people in life. I've said this so many times, like in my personal life. There's 2 types of people in life, the yes people and the no people. You know, there's those people who I'm interviewing, I'm trying to get a bid to get our balcony fixed. It has hurricane damage on it right now. We live in Florida and we had a big hurricane a few months ago. I'm trying to get bids on getting that fixed and building a 2nd-story deck off the back of our house, okay? I got to tell you, I'm interviewing these contractors and there's 2 types. There are the people who come to you and you give them your problem and they say every single reason why it's not doable. And then for the same job, you have a different contractor or a different person who comes and has an affirmative for how they can help you and how they can help solve your problem. So there are yes people and no people, right? I want to be a yes person. I want you to come to me as your coach, as your life coach, as your joy coach. And I work with moms just like you who feel overwhelmed, who feel heavy in life. And we just look at ways to lighten your load. It might be calendar. It might be fixing the overwhelm. It might be digging into what you believe about yourself at your core. There's so much there, and it's just my privilege to do this work with my clients. And if you're interested in learning about working with me, send me an email or go to the link in the episode notes to head to my website and my coaching page at shejustglows.com. So I'm going to be a yes person in your life. I'll just tell you that right now. That's always my goal. There's another example of 2 types of people in life, right? Have you ever heard this? There are givers and there are takers. There are the people who, when you hang out with them, it's just so soul-filling. They hear you, they see you. After being with them, you just walk away feeling lighter. You walk away feeling energized. And then there are takers. There are people who, when you are with them, the seconds go by. So when there are people who are, and then there are the takers, right? The people who, when you are with them, the minutes feel like hours. Because when you're there, you're giving and they're just taking. They're sucking the energy out of you. And you're like tired after you've been with them, right? So those are the 2 types of people that you can encounter in your daily life. And there are 2 types of things in your life, things that take energy and things that energize you, period. So go down your life energy list and fill out those 2 columns based on your calendar, who you're interacting with, what you're doing in a day. And I want you to write down things that supply energy to you and things that drain your energy, okay? The next thing you need to do is ask yourself, when you're looking at the column of things that drain your energy, ask yourself, do I really need to do these things? Some of them you probably do, like your job. But even in your job, I'd like you to go even deeper. I'd like to peel back the onion a little bit more. Your job might have parts of it that energize you. Your job might have parts of it that de-energize you, that drain you, that exhaust you. So separate those out so you can really get clear on what parts of your job are great, what parts of your job are drains. And ask yourself in that column of your life energy list, the column of things that suck the life out of you, what of these items do I truly have to do? And highlight those, okay? I'm going to take a wild guess because, like I said, I did this exercise myself. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that at least half of the things that drain you aren't actually necessary in your life. Someone else can do them, or you can do less of them. So for example, let's say your mother-in-law drains you, okay? Let's just say, like I said, I have a lot of clients and I'm just going to share the feedback that it's confidential, but let's just pick that example out of the air, right? Your mother-in-law drains you. Okay, got it. Well, she's going to be in your life, but do you have to see her as much as you are? Are there ways that you can reframe your interactions with your mother-in-law to make them more soul-filling? So for example, maybe your interactions with your mother-in-law involving the children are very draining. She critiques your parenting. She makes little comments about the kids' behavior that is sort of undermining to you. But maybe when you go out with her one-on-one and you go out to lunch, she's a great time. Maybe she, really fills you up a little bit when you're in those types of situations with her. So there are ways to take things that are on the energy draining side and reframe them and pivot how we look at them and really get clear on what aspects of, in the example of hanging out with a mother-in-law, serve you and bring energy to your life, and pursue more of those. So you can get really creative with this. I highly encourage you to take 5 minutes, come up with your life energy list, and then go to the column of energy drain and ask yourself, do I really need to do these? Do I really need to do all of these? And can someone else do some of these? Or can I do some of these less and do them in ways that truly serve me? I hope that was helpful, you guys. Have a great day.